to kick it off, Claire, thank you for taking the time. Excited to talk to you today and learn more about EY, what you guys are doing with blockchain and the Web3 space. And here at the event, obviously, maybe to kick things off, tell us a bit about yourself and your background. We always love learning a bit about the guest and how they got into the space a little bit. So what's your career been like?
Well, thank you for having me. I think it's great, and it's a really great opportunity. It's an event like this to be able to get together. So I'm working at EY, and my role at EY is Chief Operating Officer for our blockchain business. It sort of is a combination of running the operations and everything needed for our product engineering, as well as budgeting and financing and all of that good stuff, but also a lot of sales enablement. So out talking to clients, making sure that we're able to provide for them what they need to be able to access decentralized blockchain technology. So we build products. We've got a core R&D team based in London that are cryptographers, really focused on privacy. So we do a ton of those things. And how I segued into it is probably a little unusual because I've spent 25 years in tech before coming into this role.
It's unusual for a lot of us, honestly.
I think so. And it was all about building transformations for clients, very large global clients, with enterprise technology. And so I have a very strong bent and point of view when it comes to what it takes to be a compelling a game changer for a large organization. And I've got a strong belief in a future where the interactions and transactions of B2B players is going to happen on a decentralized public network.
And so what about your guys' ambitions with blockchain brought you here to Blockchain Futurist? I imagine there's probably a product in particular. Just kind of curious what you guys are working on.
We work across the board. We do a lot of things. We do a lot of the things that you would know EY for, which is we're probably got the deepest skills when it comes to providing assurance services and financial statement audits for, I would say, blockchain native. But also that plays into others now. I mean, as we see this adoption grow across institutions and enterprises, we do a tremendous amount of tax services, advisory work in that space, and we do the consulting with the full breadth, right the way through to the technical implementations. And so we do all of those professional services. And we're also building products. We build our product on Ethereum. This is really to serve the tokenization, the movement of assets through the supply chain, but also the management of the rules of the agreement, if you like, the terms of those agreements. And so it was really important for us to be able to have this programmability of the smart contract. So we do all those things.
Nice. And then with these professional services, do you find yourself offering them more to the Web3 startups and companies that are maybe in need of it, or are these traditional institutions and enterprise players that maybe don't understand the space and need a little bit of helping hand?
Yeah. So it's a really good question because our core client base, I think, would be what you would refer to as traditional, right? Yeah. All industries, all sectors. And we do a tremendous amount with what we often in this forum would refer to as a TradFi institution, right? But we have been serving for quite some time, quite a lot of the blockchain native, I would say, new startups that are coming into the business. And we're well positioned to do it because we really understand some of that regulatory framework that's coming down the path. We can really help them within, especially I would say the confines of risk management and really thinking about that in a way that's going to help you scale your business. Right. I think, different startups go through different phases. Of course. And sometimes that experience is incredibly important to help guide in some of those decisions. And so we do a lot of work in the risk management, compliance, regulatory space.
Interesting. And then of these, traditional clients you work with, enterprise, institutional, whoever they may end up being, As a client, and what are you seeing in terms of interest from them in this space? Like, are they interested in tokenization and RWAs? Are they interested in DeFi and fintech? I'm sure there's like a wide gamut of stuff, but where are you seeing kind of the trends occur?
We're seeing an enormous amount of activity right now, right? Without a doubt, I think the regulatory changes that happened at the beginning of the year were a real catalyst.
Yeah.
And EY Parthenon published a survey, actually just a few weeks ago. And we'd surveyed 350 executives, or actually CFOs, in both financial and non-financial organizations. And it was very insightful. Now we tested this survey just at that point between the Genius Act being, sort of put on the table and it actually being passed into law. So it was in that really sweet spot very early on. And it was incredibly insightful as to what is actually happening in the marketplace. I mean, there's, already 13% of all CFOs are using stablecoins, right? But really interesting was, considering that point in time, 54% anticipating using it within 6 months and 12 months, right?
Yeah.
Now, to be ready for that, you've already got an awful lot of work going on in the background to be able to do it. And from the same survey, we also were looking at, well, what are the use cases? What are they seeing and why are they seeing the value? And 41% of the people that have used stablecoins within their enterprise, within their organization, are seeing at least a 10% cost saving, which is compelling.
That is
right?
Yeah.
And I think that's really going to be a key. I think we're probably going to hear more about that today at this conference. There's a lot of people asking, well, what will it take? What will it take? And I've got, large enterprises, they're pretty predictable. You've got to have a compelling business reason. And if it's compelling and it's aligned to their strategy and what they want to do, you will see growth. Right?
Absolutely.
And I think that's a really important thing. Use cases. What are we seeing? It's very focused right now on cross-border. So cross-border payments, as you might imagine. But it's for a number of different things. It's everything from paying vendors to receiving payments. That's very much the predominance of it. But we're already seeing as well the small beginnings of some CFOs are already using it even for employee payments. Which is
payroll and stuff.
Payroll, like that. Because there's a fascinatingly great opportunity for this real-time pay. People get very incentivized by that, especially if you're in that category of worker where you're being paid by the hour or you're being paid for a particular outcome that you're delivering. And you want that payment today.
Absolutely.
These are the rails that make that possible. So it's kind of exciting to see this, I would say this creativity coming through and people starting to understand that they can utilize this technology to create new outcomes that they think will be beneficial to their business.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up. We were just at Money 2020 in Vegas last week, and that was a very big topic for a lot of the TradFi crowd that was there. Everything from fraud prevention to remittance and banking globally to payments, being able to pay employees, whether it's through salary or whatnot, or a contractor, invoicing. There's a lot of really cool, interesting solutions, accounting stuff as well. So I can imagine it at this kind of level with what you're doing. That stuff gets brought up all the time. So we saw the demand there.
Yeah, I think there's a tremendous amount of demand, and we're really excited about it because we really feel that this is where we can bring the best of what we have available to market. I mean, understanding what it takes to really implement something like that so that it's working in conjunction and in harmony with everything else within the enterprise is really important, right? You've got to be able to break through some of these hard things, and compliance can be hard.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of red tape.
There's a lot of red tape. You've got to extend your risk management framework. And so you really got to understand, even making sure that you've got robust business cases, right? So that these can really go from being a POC to being something that you run in production with longevity, right?
Yeah.
You need to be thinking in slightly different ways. And that's where we feel we've got to step in and start helping some of these companies and certainly some of the players here today.
Absolutely.
Succeed.
And you brought up regulations earlier. You brought up the Genius Act earlier. I think that was something that happened this year that was massive for this whole industry that we're in, and creating guardrails for us to be able to, do business, right? Interact. That wasn't there before. And I think it's rejuvenated the space in a brand new way and brought a lot of life and interest into it. And from different banking institutions to large enterprise companies wanting to be a part of it, new products and solutions. 2026 will be very exciting because of a lot of this, but, curious your thoughts on the impact of these regulations as well. Maybe what you foresee could be coming in the future, like next steps on top of regulations to create these proper frameworks so that companies, banks, funds, they know what to do, and they know, what bounds they can play in without feeling uncomfortable and limiting that risk and being able to comply, while also being able to participate in such a revolutionary industry. Like, what are your kind of thoughts on how that's progressing?
Yeah, I mean, I can only agree with you. I mean, what we see and what we've seen in our clients is this tremendous momentum all year. So it was definitely a catalyst. I don't think it's the only catalyst that we're seeing, though. It's really interesting. Sometimes you need multiple things to play in your favor. And I also see that there's a maturity in some of the other aspects when we think about how easy is it for me to implement. It's still complex in a lot of ways. Last year, there was an announcement from SAP. I don't even, do you know who SAP is? SAP is in almost all of the top 500, right? It's an incredibly important software company, and they announced, that they're adding to their treasury module the ability to work with crypto. Right? That's certainly not something that you hear talked about very widely here. But from the side of adoption, it's incredibly important to make this, easy to consume. And we were super excited. We were able to be the first enterprise, if you like, to be able to accept payment from one of our clients, happened to be PayPal, wanted to pay us in PYUSD. And to be able to do that, we worked together with Coinbase and SAP, and we're able to do that. And I think these are the sort of real practical examples of where you see it coming to life. And, CFOs and treasury teams and CIOs in large enterprises have a tremendous amount to do. And the easier that we can make it, the more of these little things that go along with the big regulatory sweeps. It's what will keep that momentum going and mean that we're able to keep progressing. And I think with regulation, we've seen the market respond to having some clarity. Do we have all the answers yet? We definitely don't have all the answers yet. But as that unfolds, we're going to see more and more sort of new products coming on the market. We've had a lot of conversations on Monday. I was at a different event again. And it's super exciting to see the excitement in some of our clients about the products that they can bring to market now already. So I think it's going to be a really fun. I think you're right. I think 2026 we're going to see some really good options, actually, to investing, and I look forward to that.
Yeah, me too. And for you guys as well, in 2026, anything you guys are focused on in particular beyond what you're doing already this year, whether it's in blockchain, broader Web3 landscape, what can you kind of share, hint at?
Oh, you're looking for the spice. Well, we've always had we've always been in this for the long game. We've always believed that ultimately a blockchain technology with the decentralized nature of it is going to change the way all goods are moved around the ecosystem at the end of the day. And I think it has the potential to do that. And that's what we're working towards. So you're going to see some announcements around our latest privacy technology coming out, which is super exciting because one of the obstacles to large enterprises trading on a public blockchain is they need confidentiality, right? And we've been working on that problem for a long time. And so I think when next Nightfall, when we put that out in the open domains, I think that's going to be a really exciting one. And the other thing that we're doing, which I think is going to be, we're doing a lot of quite exciting work and quite advanced work because we've been in this space for a long time around the security of smart contracts. So as we see the market grow and the projections are huge in terms of the CAGR of smart contracts for the coming years, we just want people to be mindful that there are tools out there that can help you. There is a party here.
There is a party.
Clearly. There is a party here. So I think to be mindful that there's tools that can help you do it securely, that can check for vulnerabilities, that can help you ensure that it's functioning as you would expect. And so we'll have some announcements in that space coming very soon too. We've been in that space a long time, so we've got quite deep capability. But it's incredibly important now. And I would say it's not just for developers. I think if you're investing and you're investing in smart contracts, know what you're investing in, know what the quality of that code looks like. We're getting to the point now where, you want to be in this game and you want to scale. You've got to do it responsibly.
Absolutely. And I think those would be very exciting things to look for next year, that being able to do these things responsibly, know how you can apply the guardrails, the red tape, and then seeing these companies, legacy companies, really invested into this industry and seeing the two come together further is going to be very exciting. So keep me up to date on everything you guys are working on too in 2026.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Brandon.
I'd love to do this again sometime and learn more about the products you guys are working on, the consulting work you're doing. If there's new use cases, new surveys that you do, please let me know.
Definitely. Totally. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure, Claire.
Yeah, good.